Welcome to the Lucky Health Channel. I'm so happy you've joined our health community today. We're about to explore some truly valuable health knowledge, and I promise your body will thank you for it. If you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's like joining our big health-loving family. And a quick like on this video will give us even more motivation to keep sharing helpful videos with more wonderful people like you. Thank you. I want you to picture a familiar moment. It's a quiet evening. Dinner's done. You put on a soft jazz tune, dim the lights, and pour yourself a glass of red wine. You take a slow sip. Relax. A little reward, perhaps. After all, you've heard it for years, haven't you? One glass of red wine a night is good for your heart. Maybe you read it in a magazine, heard it on a talk show, or a friend, maybe the one who spent time in France, told you so. Red wine, antioxidants, resveratrol. It all sounds so scientific, so convincing. And you know what? I get it. I don't blame you. Because even I, a heart doctor who's spent over 30 years working with patients over 50, have heard that same message repeated time and again. But today, I'd like to ask you to sit with me and just listen for a moment, not to theories, but to the quiet truth I've seen unfold in real life, in thousands of beating hearts that slowly started to wear out, while their owners never saw it coming. After 60, your body doesn't process alcohol like it used to. Your liver works slower. Your heart becomes more sensitive. Your blood pressure becomes more reactive. And here's the scary part: even one small glass of wine, just one each night, can trigger a silent chain reaction inside your body that wears on your heart bit by bit. I remember a patient of mine. Her name was Elaine. She was 67. Elegant, well-read, loved her garden. She believed her nightly glass of red wine was part of her longevity secret. She didn't smoke, ate well, walked every day, but one routine checkup showed early signs of arrhythmia. She was shocked. I thought I was doing everything right, she told me. And she was, except for that one habit. That single glass each evening over the years had slowly raised her blood pressure, disrupted her heart's natural rhythm, and left her heart more exhausted with every beat. Have you ever woken up with your heart racing, felt tired even after a full night's sleep, or struggled to fall asleep even though you were exhausted? Sometimes the cause isn't stress or age. Sometimes it's the little habits we believe are helping us, but really they're not. There was a large study done here in the U.S. that found seniors over 60 who regularly drank red wine had significantly higher risks of high blood pressure and irregular heartbeat compared to those who didn't. And here's the ironic part. Wine makes you feel sleepy, yes, but it actually disrupts the deep restorative sleep your heart needs to heal at night. While your mind drifts, your heart is still working overtime, struggling with unstable blood pressure and uneven rhythm. Now, I'm not here to tell you to live rigidly or to give up every small pleasure in life. I'm just inviting you to pause, to gently and honestly ask yourself, is this nightly habit still serving my health? Or is it quietly working against the very thing that's kept me alive for over half a century? My heart. If you've been holding on to that glass of red wine for heart health, maybe now is the time to ask, what does my heart really need? Maybe it's not wine at all. Maybe it's a cool glass of water, a warm cup of herbal tea, or just 15 quiet minutes of deep breathing before bed. Because after more than 3 decades in medicine, here's what I've truly learned. Your heart doesn't need more, it needs what's right. You deserve a heart that's strong, not just to live longer, but to live lightly, peacefully, and fully, moment by moment. And if today you begin by letting go of that one familiar glass of wine, you've already given your heart the gift of a better tomorrow. Not just for today, but for all the beautiful years still waiting ahead. I want you to picture this. It's a quiet weekend afternoon. You're sitting in your favorite little cafe, warm yellow lights above. A colorful cocktail in your hand, garnished with a slice of orange. A tiny paper umbrella, maybe a sprig of mint. It could be a margarita, a mojito, maybe a piña colada. You take a sip, sweet, smooth, soothing. And you think to yourself, it's just one drink, for fun. What harm could it do? I get it. I've sat beside patients who once thought the same. As a heart doctor for over 30 years, I've seen far too many hearts that looked healthy on the outside, but were quietly wearing down on the inside, all because of small, gentle habits, just like that sweet little cocktail. Here's what most people don't realize, especially after age 60. Cocktails aren't just alcohol. They're a mix of syrup, heavy cream, strong spirits, and a lot of sugar. And that mix, it spikes your triglycerides. Those unhealthy fats that quietly clog your arteries, raise your blood pressure, and put you at serious risk for stroke or heart attack. I remember one patient, James, 70 years old, a retired banker, lived a calm, structured life. No smoking, ate fairly well. But he had a small habit. Every weekend, he'd mix himself a cocktail during the football game. Just one glass. After a few years, he came in with high triglycerides and an irregular heartbeat. We looked at his lab results together, and I said, "James, there's something in that cocktail that's been hurting your heart bit by bit. See, the sugar in cocktails increases insulin resistance, making your body store more belly fat, especially the kind that sits deep around your organs, including your heart. And the alcohol. It tightens your blood vessels and triggers silent inflammation inside your arteries. The result: your blood vessels stiffen, your heart strains, and suddenly, something that felt harmless becomes something dangerous. What makes cocktails so tricky is that they're easy. They taste sweet, fruity, almost innocent. You barely taste the alcohol. But that's exactly what makes them hard to notice and hard to stop. Many older adults turn to cocktails because they feel lighter than other drinks. But that lightness, that ease, it hides the warning signs. You don't feel the damage right away. You just feel fine until you're not. Now, I'm not here to take away joy, but I am here to ask you this. What is that cocktail really giving your heart? A few moments of relaxation, or a hidden burden you won't feel until it's too late? There are so many other ways to enjoy an afternoon. A warm cup of ginger tea, a glass of fresh juice, even just a phone call with someone you love. These things don't hurt your heart. They heal it. And if today you pause just for a second before reaching for that cocktail, you've already taken the first step toward caring for your heart. in a more gentle, more mindful way. I want you to imagine this. It's late at night. The house is quiet. Everyone's asleep. You walk into the kitchen, dim lights casting a soft glow across the counter. You pour yourself a small drink, just a little nightcap like always, and sit in silence. Just to help me sleep, you tell yourself. It's a familiar ritual, a way to ease the weight of the day. And you believe it helps you rest better. I understand. Many of my patients have told me the same. They're not addicted. They don't drink to party. They drink to sleep. But as a 60-year-old heart doctor who's walked beside thousands of people over 50, I have to tell you the truth. This is one of the quietest yet most harmful habits for both your sleep and your heart. Yes, alcohol may help you fall asleep faster, but what you don't see, what you don't feel, is how shallow that sleep really is. You miss out on the most important phase, REM sleep. The deep restorative stage when your heart and brain truly heal. Think of sleep like a nighttime repair shop. During REM, your heart rate slows, blood pressure stabilizes, blood vessels relax. Your heart gets to rest. But when alcohol is in your system, that shop closes. Your heart is left working alone in the dark. No rest, no repair. I remember a patient of mine, Linda, 69 years old, widowed, lived alone. She told me alcohol was the only thing that brought her comfort at night. But she kept waking up at 2 or 3 a.m., heart-pounding cold sweats. We ran a sleep study. Her results almost no REM sleep at all. Her heart was like a machine that had never been turned off for years. And here's the danger. The body builds tolerance. What starts as one small glass becomes 2, and soon you're drinking more but sleeping worse. Your heart, it's growing weaker night after night. The hardest part. Most people never make the connection. Midnight anxiety. Waking up tired after a full night's sleep. Silent spikes in blood pressure. All of it may come from that harmless glass meant to help you rest. Now listen. I'm not here to take away your peace at the end of the day. I'm here to remind you there are gentler ways to fall asleep, ways that nourish your body instead of draining it. A warm cup of chamomile tea, a soft jazz melody, 5 quiet minutes of slow breathing before bed. These things ease you into real healing sleep, the kind where your heart finally gets the rest it deserves. So tonight, if you find yourself reaching for that glass again, pause and gently ask yourself, is this truly the best thing I can give my heart right now? You deserve restorative sleep, where every heartbeat is calm, every breath feels light, and tomorrow morning you wake not just rested, but renewed. I want you to picture this. It's a warm summer afternoon. You've just come in from the garden or finished a nice walk. You open the fridge, grab a cold can of beer. The psh as you crack it open feels oddly satisfying. You sit down, take a sip, and just like that, you feel relaxed. Like you're giving yourself a little reward after a long day. And you think, it's just beer. It's light. What harm could it do? I've heard that line hundreds of times in my clinic, and I get it. Beer doesn't feel like hard liquor. It doesn't hit you fast. It's easygoing, friendly, and tied to the little joys in life: dinner with family, a good game on TV, a chat with old friends. But you know what? It's exactly that harmless feeling that makes it dangerous, especially as we get older. I'm Dr. William. I'm 60 years old. And after over 30 years of caring for people over 50 here in the U.S., I can tell you this: beer isn't as light as you think. For older adults, it can be a quiet troublemaker, hurting your heart, your blood pressure, and your circulation without you even realizing it. Let's start with belly fat. Not just what you see when you look down, but visceral fat, the kind that builds up around your liver, heart, and organs. Beer is full of carbs and sugars, and as your metabolism slows with age, your body turns that into belly fat quickly. That hidden fat causes inflammation, narrows your blood vessels, raises your blood pressure, and silently starts damaging your heart from the inside. I had a patient, Roger, 67. Healthy guy, didn't smoke, ate well, but he loved his 2 beers a day. He told me, "It's my only treat." But his labs told another story: elevated blood pressure, high LDL, and stiffening arteries. We had to work together to change the one habit he never thought was hurting him. Second beer dehydrates you even though it's a liquid. Sounds strange, right? But it's true. The alcohol in beer is a diuretic. It makes your body get rid of water. And if you're older, your body is already more prone to dehydration. Dehydrated blood is thicker, and your heart has to pump harder to move it through your body, putting it under daily stress it doesn't need. Even worse, beer often replaces water. Many seniors think I had a drink, no need for more water. But that only makes things worse. Your body loses its chance to repair, and your heart is left working without support. Here's the thing: 1 beer a day won't send you to the ER, but it will quietly tire out your heart. Not because you're drinking too much, but because you're drinking it every day. I'm not here to take away your simple joys. I'm just here to offer a new lens to help you see your habits through the eyes of someone who's cared for hearts like yours for decades. So the next time you reach for that beer, just pause and gently ask yourself, is this what my heart needs, or would a cool glass of water serve it better today? Because sometimes it's one small change, just one little choice, that gives your heart a stronger tomorrow. I want you to picture this. It's a quiet night. You're sitting alone in your familiar corner of the room, pouring yourself a small glass of whiskey or vodka. Not to get drunk, just to take the edge off the day. One sip warm, maybe smoky, maybe sharp. And you tell yourself, just a little. It won't hurt anyone. But I want you to hear this from someone who spent more than 3 decades caring for the hearts of people over 50 in the U.S. Just a little of hard liquor after 60 can sometimes be too much for your heart. I'm not talking about wild parties or heavy drinking. I'm talking about the quiet nightly ritual, the single glass you pour to relax, sleep better, feel good. Something that seems harmless, but might be silently pushing your heart into danger. Hard liquors like whiskey, vodka, or brandy are strong by nature. They're concentrated, unsoftened, which means even a small amount can cause your blood vessels to tighten, suddenly causing your blood pressure to spike within minutes. Now, if you're young and healthy, your body adjusts. But after 60, your blood vessels aren't as flexible and your heart isn't as strong. A sudden spike in pressure. It's like asking a tired engine to race uphill without warning. I remember a patient, Joseph, 70 years old. A proud man, a former soldier. Tough, disciplined, sharp. He had one glass of brandy every night, his little tradition. Not much, just one. But then he came in one day dizzy, lightheaded, heart skipping beats. We ran an EKG arrhythmia. The cause, that single glass of brandy, what he called his relaxation, not indulgence. It was quietly overwhelming his heart. And there's more. Hard liquor can dangerously interact with common medications, blood pressure pills, heart meds, diabetes treatments. When you drink, your liver prioritizes processing the alcohol, and your medications may not work as they should. In some cases, alcohol even amplifies side effects, dizziness, sudden drops in pressure, or worse, uncontrolled heart rhythms. Have you ever felt your heart beat a little odd after a drink? Maybe fluttery, maybe fast. That's not just a feeling. That's your heart sending you a message. A message that says, I've carried you for decades. I've pushed through stress, heartbreak, and love. But now I need you to take care of me. I'm not here to take away your peace. I'm simply asking you to pause and ask yourself, is that drink really helping me relax? Or is it making my heart work harder quietly, night after night? There are other ways to unwind a little jazz, a warm cup of herbal tea, a good book that takes you somewhere gentle. Because sometimes peace doesn't come from a glass in your hand. It comes from the steady rhythm of a heart that feels safe and a body that knows it's being cared for. And in the end, that's the kind of rest we all truly deserve. I want you to imagine this. It's a quiet weekend afternoon. You stop by the grocery store and something catches your eye, a row of colorful bottles with labels like strawberry cocktail mint mojito or mango margarita. They look refreshing, sweet, and the label says pre-mixed, ready to enjoy. You think to yourself, oh, how convenient. Just one little bottle to chill with. What's the harm? But let me be honest with you. As someone who's spent over 30 years caring for the health of people over 50, here in the U.S., those bottles might be sweet, but they can also be quietly harmful. These ready-to-drink cocktails are not what they seem. They're not just alcohol. They're often packed with chemical sweeteners, artificial colors, preservatives, and high-proof alcohol ingredients that are especially harsh for aging bodies, where the liver is slower and the metabolism more sensitive. I remember one of my patients, Helen, age 66. She never smoked, never touched whiskey or vodka, ate clean, exercised lightly. But she had one small habit, a fizzy strawberry cocktail in a bottle every evening. She thought it was mild, even helpful for sleep. But after 5 months, she felt tired all the time. Her liver enzymes shot up. Her blood pressure became unstable. And the quiet culprit. That cute little bottle of fun she thought was harmless. Here's the thing, compared to beer or wine-bottled cocktails, often have higher alcohol content but taste smoother and sweeter. You don't feel the alcohol, so it slips in unnoticed. And with every sip, you're also taking in loads of added sugar and synthetic additives that raise blood fats, spike blood sugar, and trigger low-grade inflammation in the blood vessels. For someone with diabetes, high blood pressure, or heart concerns, this is a dangerous combo. I understand. At this age, we all want to hold on to a little bit of joy. But ask yourself honestly, is that brief moment of sweetness worth the longer burden on your liver, your heart, your sleep? I'm not here to shame you. I'm here to remind you convenience isn't always a friend of health. And sometimes the things that go down the easiest are the very things we should be the most cautious with. If you truly want to treat yourself, reach for something natural, gentle, and truly nourishing to a body that's been through decades of effort and resilience. Because you deserve care, even in the smallest choices. And your heart, after beating faithfully for over half a century, deserves to be protected with wisdom, not impulse. I know this might seem harmless, just a small glass of wine with dinner. To warm the stomach, help digestion, or simply out of long-standing habit. Maybe it's a little white wine, a bit of homemade rice wine, or a mild local brew, something many believe is natural or even good for circulation. But as a doctor who spent decades working with patients over 60 in the U.S., I have to say this to you with complete honesty, that small, familiar habit. It can have a much bigger impact than you think, especially on a heart that's carried you through so many years. You see, when we're younger, our liver and heart are more efficient at processing alcohol. But after 60, that changes. The liver slows down, blood vessels become less elastic, and the heart, well, it grows tired a little faster with every beat. Even a small drink at dinner, one that doesn't make you feel drunk, can quietly slow blood flow to the heart, cause heaviness in the chest, or trigger irregular heartbeats as you fall asleep. What's even more concerning is that alcohol, even in its mildest forms, interferes with how your body absorbs medications for blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, or heart conditions. So even if you're faithfully taking your medicine, that little glass could be quietly reducing its effectiveness. I remember Mr. Thomas, 70 years old, lean, brisk in his step. He came to see me for chronic insomnia and nighttime heart palpitations. No stress, no major health issues. But after a long conversation, I discovered he had one nightly ritual, a small glass of homemade rice wine with dinner to help digestion, he said. I gently asked him to skip that drink for 3 weeks, and the result? He was surprised even more than I was. His sleep became deeper, his heartbeat more regular, and his blood pressure returned to normal. It wasn't the medicine that changed. It was the habit. I'm not here to say you must give up everything that makes dinner feel comforting or familiar, but if one small drink can throw off your heart's rhythm and weaken the medications meant to protect your health, is it really worth it? You've come a long way with this heart, and I truly believe it deserves to be prioritized above old habits. Because in the end, what keeps us healthy isn't always what we've always done. It's what we consciously choose to do today and every day forward. And that choice, it often starts with the smallest thing. You know, after more than 30 years as a doctor, What weighs on me the most isn't the illnesses I couldn't cure. It's the ones that never had to happen if only we had made a few small changes earlier. A light drink here, a sweet cocktail there, a cold beer with dinner. These things seem harmless, but over the years they become a silent burden on the very heart that has carried us through a lifetime. The good news is this. Your body still has the ability to recover even at 60, 70, or beyond if you start listening to it today. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just begin with one small shift skip that evening, drink tonight. Try a warm glass of water or a calming herbal tea instead. Let your heart rest. Give it space to beat gently as it once did, with ease, with strength, with peace. And now, I want to ask you something. Do you want me to keep going? If today's video spoke to you, if it made you reflect on your habits, leave me a comment below. Tell me, where will you begin? And if you'd like me to continue to keep walking with you on this journey, sharing simple but powerful steps to protect your health after 50, then please hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. I'll see you again in the next video. Video is for reference. Please consult your doctor before applying.